Crypto friends, yes, it's the market sniper, the crypto sniper, and the reset sniper talking to you about Ethereum today. What are we going to be discussing? Well, we mentioned how mid-Jan we should be a whole bunch better after we saw Peter Brunt's comments on Bitcoin and Ethereum, which was in and around late December, saying, concern for Bitcoin, it could sell off, and a rising wedge on Ethereum. We said, oh, hold on, we think it's going up. And it was just an aspect of HVF method versus his RSI 3 times peaks, etc. And we kind of did a series on that. Bitcoin's done really well. It's gone and run the 47.5 twice, in fact, and been rejected, and now it's getting a little bit perky. We'll take a look at Bitcoin, but the main discussion point is going to be Ethereum, which was been lagging BTC, although Ethereum was up. And I think the argument was closed in terms of the two different HVF method approach versus the alternative approach was already won before the new year. It's worth looking now because there was a lag. Bitcoin did very well. Ethereum did okay. And now we're seeing a little bit of catch up here. Why? Well, actually, a lot of the Bitcoin ETF has been priced in, and the news coming in on confirmation is actually more bullish for Ethereum, for which less of that has been priced in for Ethereum than for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin we've been playing, and boy, what a game they played with the Twitter account. This is just absolute. Anyway, I don't want to start, I'll get angry, but it's childish stuff. Anyway, Ethereum, let's go to the charts and have a look. Now, the key thing we did on Ethereum is we said, hold on, multiple currencies of analysis. We took a look at Ethereum Euro, because there was a slight difference between the USD and the Euro, and that difference was the following. This high over here did not take out that high on the Euro. That's why we're on the ETH Euro. We like that. This is key aspect of continuation. Bear in mind, if Ethereum's going up against the Euro, it's likely going up against the dollar. As cryptos move much more, have higher volatility than currencies. So there's always, small couple of fraction of a percent moves between the currencies. Very rarely do we get a full percent move, and only super rarely do we get anything much more than that. It could be relied on that ETH is going to have a move if we had a good setup against the Euro, because the dollar and the Euro swing is unlikely to countervail that to a significant degree. So the structure we got and we drew for you on the charts, and it is on the Twitter, we shared it with you, was this upside HVF, and we said you are going through on the Euro through 3,200 euros. It's about 1.09, 1.10. Easier just to say 10%. So add another 320. You can trim it off. Add another 300 for dollars, about 3.5. That was our upside scenario for this, and we felt that it had already broken over here way back then, and we highlighted, let's change color maybe and just go a little bit thinner. We highlighted that you'd already had a squeezy Japanesey that you'd broken up and away, and at the time we were in the process of making this one, which I'll draw for you when we drop on a lower time frame, which was also implying that we should be long. So we were sitting net long Ethereum as well, and holding on even though dull. Many people are sitting here with XRP or other cryptos and saying, yeah, it's been kind of dull. Your time will come. There is a bit of an alt move, and I think it is going to stir a couple of these items up for us and give us a better move to the upside overall with the approval of the BTC. So in short, the BTC ETF is already probably very well priced into BTC. It'll still go up higher, and with being hearing the BlackRock one is already trading with a premium, yada yada, etc., which is expected. But it's actually probably more bullish for the rest of crypto that has longer odds of getting an ETF, because they're quite a lot closer if they've granted it for Bitcoin. Okay, so let's drop down the time frames. 3,200 euros we've already given you the expectation. It's actually a bit through that. If you have a look over here, you'll see 3232 in the purple box. As I'm already working on tools for our community, don't forget, you too can become a member of our amazing community. This single trade on ETH, for example, can have already have looked after your entire training and your entire first year in our community, and now you are better prepped on the relative assessments of strength, who's next to move, in what order will they move. It's a bull market. We were sitting there trying to keep people long in a bull market when the biggest follow technical analysis guy was actually putting out bearish possible overtures. We said, this is important. We need to tell people, stay in the game. Bull markets, you want to stay in the game. You don't want to be retreating. Okay, let's drop the time frames and have a look at those smaller structures so that you can see it. This is, we always go macro to micro. This is the first setup in a new trend, by the way. So not only will it run that 3,232, we think it's going to well overperform through it in due course. And we have overperformance management structures to tell us when you should close. So you could do a partial close only at those levels in the expectation of more. Why? Because it's the first setup in a new trend after a major bear trend. And these are unique rules that you'll be learning as part and process of our program. So let's drop to those lower time frames and do this thing. Oh, here was, I'm not sure I showed you that. So here was those tweets for those that are just seeing this video for the first time. It was December the 19th, 23. The concern about Ethereum here by Peter. There was a similar one on Bitcoin that was promoted as well as a little bit of a concern. We did a video on it as well. Not sure where that is. On the Bitcoin side, bias to the upside was our scenario. They were talking about the RSI divergence thing. I think I have to go a bit deeper for that. RSI divergence, where was it? Anyway, so you can see there was some levels of disagreement by method. Remember, play the method, not the man, in terms of all of these interpretations. So we're dropping to a lower time frame, and we're going to 4 hours, let's say, and we'll see all of these structures. In fact, before we go 4, let's go 12. So you can see here we had a couple of structures. I'm going to draw them first before I put our tool on them. Bum, 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 bum. And then, of course, again over here. This was kind of a sketchy one because that was a hard slam. Don't forget you had the BTC dramas that were all up, down, maybe left, right, shake it all about. Everything that's going on. These were your natural entry points and exits, and this was your natural entry points and reduction. Remember, you're not going to reduce and close at all. Why? Because we're inside a bigger pattern that's giving you 3,200. So this is how you break into a much bigger trade at these levels. If you weren't in from the beginning, you could have got in there, and did just a 50% close. You could have got back in here and again just done a 50% close. You can see how quickly it was done. We put these scenarios on in our Twitters and allowed a bit of time for it. Smash, done, really, really quick. Let's draw those for you. So we'll see them here, and you'll see the risk rewards. Now, bear in mind, you can also, we have early entry strategies that increase the profitability of these. So even with the most conservative last draw, where you are getting in on the green line on the triggering event, you are still getting a 4.36. When last did you get 4.4 on a risk reward trade? You risked $1 and you got paid $4.4. Normally you have to take 4.5 times more risk to do that. Do you think this was a 4.5 time risky trade? No. And in fact, you're going to see 2 in a row. Why? Because I'm going to draw you another one. Let's do it again. Here you go. These 2 simple trades. We'll go with a load there. This was the draw we took and we went with inside our community. And bang, now you see another draw being put on. Whoops, we just got to correct that one slightly. The computer says no. Sometimes the computer just says no. You got to do the settings. And let's put him on. Chirp. So I have to drop a time frame for that one on. And there you go. There's your load. There's your takeout of your high. Boom. Bosh. Straight through to target. Really, really quick. Faster than expected. So you're talking about 2 back-to-back trades in there. And again, on this one, little bit of a fatter funnel over here, but we were getting in long over here. So if you were taking these entries, you could have been in and around here on the beginning of the move up. Your stop would have been super tight and your profits would be already in the bag on 50% of the move. Bang, like that. So you could have improved that from the 4.46, and in fact we got 2 boxes there. Let's get the one on the bottom first. That was a 2.27 if you got in on the green line over there. However, over here you could be at around 5 and you're already through the target, taking you through 2,412. So as you can see, those concerns about a rising wedge, where did those come from, our friend Pete? They were on the ETH/USDT. You see, some people only look at the dollar. They forget that dollar has periods of occasional strength. It is pumping on the dollar too. Let's have a look at what he felt at the time. He felt it, and this is what was happening. Let's take it off there, the pattern, and he was drawing something like this. And he was saying, you are about to be slammed over here. This was during this period where he was saying you're at the top end of the range, you're going to come down. This is the value of multiple different 360-degree views and full-on focus on pattern trading, knowing when it's not a bad thing and it's more likely to be up, retaining a bull bias for the macro trend that this is a turn. Bitcoin is the leader and it is making key levels. So let's transition to Bitcoin for the updates. So we've done a little bit of Ethereum for you, but your God market is essentially Bitcoin. And you can see how we told you long time ago, long time ago, yes, long time ago we said 42.5 was going to be a key level. So don't forget, you had your target from the inverted head and shoulder over there. Let's go back to our pink and our fat Koki. Long live the fat Koki transgender. There he is, 40,500. That was your target, turned into real support repeatedly over here, repeatedly over here. What did you end up doing? Pivoting around the 42.5. Nobody gave you that level but here. That is essentially the key level that runs around the pattern structure like that and like that. That was your squeezy Japanesey. In fact, we broke there. Then we got slammed with the ETF chicanery, brought to you by Gary Gensler and all his crowd of numpties that are playing games with the market and can't secure a Twitter account. That brought you the 37, my apologies, the 47.5, the 47.5 twice. Both times you got slammed at the 47.5. Isn't that interesting? Because we told you that's the next most important number. It was a neckline from the bull market long time ago. That's right. That was the neckline of the 64K run high. This was the neckline of the 69K run high, both of which were bookending head and shoulders events that called the end to the bull market. They were seminal. The larger one, which had the 42.5, gave you 16,000 target, which essentially was the bottom of Bitcoin. Is that an important pattern? My little baby hand goes up at the back of the classroom and says, yes, ma'am, she be that way. She be an important pattern. Hence, I pay attention to it. And that's why you're the only person, and this is the only channel, that is hearing about 42.5 and 47.5. You can see the resistance and the rejections here on the runs. That, of course, coincided with the little Twitter incident of Clown Inc., and there again, but overall looking perky for Bitcoin, looking like it wants to get above and beyond that 47.5. Remember how it approached the 42.5 after running our target. Up, over, through, down. Little bit of the sine wave over and around the 42.5. Like that. Before it started to squeeze and tighten around it. Look at that settling, low vol price behavior. And then it never was on the 42.5 again. It got settled above it. It now turned in support. There's a big spike wick of support. There was another spike wick of support. It had officially left the 42.5 at that point. And then it was bracing itself for its move to the upside for the 47.5. So Bitcoin progresses. But Ethereum plays some catch up. We didn't do a draw for you on ETH/BTC, where ETH had in fact lagged somewhat for a while. So let's put him in ETH/BTC because Bitcoin dominance was hitting new highs. We should show you that. But what you can suddenly see is that ETH/BTC has suddenly made a pretty strong return into the typical range. There's your box from a low of 0.4 7 back to around 5.6. So that was quite a big surge that you got from Ethereum in terms of its relative place. It had been neglected. Watch how it was making new lows. It had been in a skid, lows. We were looking at that bounce there. Take that low. Every time it was dipping, it was getting a little bit further below. But eventually, and let's get not too fat a cookie now, eventually you started to have a little bit of a channel to the downside that was likely to break to the upside in the end on balance of probs, and there you go. So a little bit of a reversal in fortunes. Still got a long way to go. This is a small time frame. We're on the daily. If you look at the weekly, we ran the previous low for the Ethereum Bitcoin relationship, but this is a big rejection candle. That low has been run. That low over there was run. So you've got a little bit of a rejection candle just after the low of the run. How many stops, if they were trading FBTC, might have been placed just at that technical point? Perfect little stop run, really low vol, squeeze, little bit of dip, and now finally rejection. So now is a safer moment to get engaged. But the fact that it ran that low doesn't give us a particular technical pattern. So it's interesting to a degree. We still have a target outside here of in and around 10. 0.1 for Ethereum's value to Bitcoin. This particular option is off the table now because it ran the low. So we will see, but we also have a neckline. So how's FBTC? One of the better charts, in fact, instead of FBTC is FDOM generally. FDOM generally, what does that include? Well, it's not just Bitcoin, although Bitcoin will be a large part of it. It's all of crypto. And we've done quite a few draws. Now, the interesting part of this one is that the rest of the alts weren't doing so well. Remember, Bitcoin leads charges, guys. Bitcoin leads the charge. Always, Bitcoin leads the charge. So what did you get initially? You got Bitcoin running. You got Bitcoin dominance taking all the headlines away from you. And it was all about the Bitcoin ETF. Now that's priced in. Now you're going to start thinking about others' ETFs. Now on this one, you didn't run the low and now you are being rejected. So F dominance, instead of just being compared to BTC, is being compared to the performance of all the other alts as well added with BTC. So in terms of that, Ethereum's actually doing okay, and you could indeed have a continuation structure at this 20% key level of great interest to us over here, 20%. There you go. So we've got a first and a second. I could see us going back up to 20% on dominance and coming in. Why? Because Ethereum is probably the next token to be respected with some form of ETF. And if it's done what it's done for Bitcoin, it's likely to do that and some for a smaller cap Ethereum, where there will be a large amount of money wanting to come in, and there'll be a lower price point and a lower market cap, which will see the large money move it further. Even though it might not be the same scale as Bitcoin, it won't need anywhere near the same amount of money. If we go to coin market cap, that's Ethereum and Bitcoin. So we at about 923, so we sub a billion. In fact, sorry, my apologies. We sub $1 trillion on Bitcoin. It's 920 billion, and Ethereum is about 318. So 920, 320, you've got it. There's a good 600,000 difference in there. But look at the difference today of your Ethereum performance. Actually, the ETF predictably is better for Ethereum because more of the announcement is baked in for Bitcoin than is baked in for any others. So suddenly the odds and who will be next is now getting the respect. Let me tell you, if ETH gets an announcement, expect XRP. Where's the XRP, guys? Expect XRP to suddenly get kind of interesting and do maybe a bit more than 5%. Possibly, I don't think Solana, but who knows what will be going on. And you could also see some action then if XRP gets a bit of Cardano action, a bit of the others in terms of general progress. So that was the last 7 days price movements, and in actual fact Ethereum is the star. It is the star until ETH Classic at 56%. Its old sister, that old Siamese twin that got severed. That's right. So there you go. So that's your update on Ethereum. I think it can now actually be a bit better of a vibe for Ethereum. It's not been talked about much, Ethereum. Bitcoin's hogged the headlines, and then different alts have hogged the headline. Ethereum's not really featured so much. So I think this move up is actually going to be a pretty Ethereum positive spell. And it could be pretty awesome for those involved in Ethereum. By the way, if you have a look at this, that head and shoulder, if it eventually triggers, which is at the 20%, could be exceedingly good for Ethereum. I think almost a little too good. You could see the likes of 34.3%. So if we get a nice big wind up over here, there could be a lot more talk about Ethereum. Listen, no fanboy of any token. Me, no fanboy of any token. They're all here and representing a digitized money system that I'm not sure I want to trust. But in the same time, pragmatism is pragmatism. Make the money. Could you see this particular token go through the 34% and maybe beyond? Who knows? At the moment, it had been very dull story for Ethereum. Down, 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 down against Bitcoin, and underperforming generally against even some of the other alts, such as Solana and one or two others. Maybe that turns. Maybe that turns. Who knows? Don't forget to book a call on the link below. On the link below. This year is your year. You need to maximize the bull year. A single trade like this pays for your year that you would have missed anyway. You've got to invest to make money. Understand this. We are here to help you maximize your wealth during this crypto bull, to potentially put you in a position that you never need to work again, and maybe even your lineage behind you will never need to work again if you play it absolutely perfectly. We'd love to deliver that for you. And at the same time, you want to retain that wealth that you potentially could make out of this crypto bull market. So if you understand that conceptually and you own your own outcomes, this link below could in fact be a life-changing event for you and truly accelerate everything you will hold in a 1 year's time from today. And that could be something that will make me super, super happy, even to the free viewers that don't want to do it. By the way, we have multiple products at different price points. So you can start learning without having the full community experience and seeing it, and still attend a Sunday session on a smaller price product. So if you're sitting there and counting your pennies after a heavy Christmas, don't forget there's a self-study with a Sunday session with us, where you will still get a great idea and plenty of updates and be well served by our community of webinar presenters. And don't forget, I will always be doing the live trading day monthly if you're on the self-study group, and for the community you'll be hearing from me almost daily, and sometimes many times. Okay, until next time, we thank you, we say goodbye. Ethereum is up to all those following the most followed traditional analyst account. Maybe this account should be the most followed traditional technical analysis account. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not sure we'll ever get there. But thank you for the love. And don't forget, share, and make sure that you hit always. Many people complaining of not getting notified of our Crypto Sniper videos. Bye for now, guys. Thanks for watching.